Welcome to the first episode of the new rebranded IAMT. I am very lucky to have been asked to host this. And first guest, we have Saleha, who is the CEO, and also, I'm pleased to say, a good friend of mine. And I think everybody wants to know what's happened. Where are we and why are we here? Why now? And what's your vision for the industry?
So, this is just so exciting, isn't it? It is day one here at NAB in Las Vegas, but we chose today to launch IAMT, the International Association of MediaTech. You've known us previously as the IABM, the International Association of Broadcast Media, or going back, broadcast manufacturers. And, the industry has changed, and so are we. I was brought in to transform IABM, and having spoken with many of our members and just looking at what's happening in our world at the moment, we're moving beyond broadcast hardware-centric equipment. And as an association, we already have members who are operating in that wider space, in software-defined workflows, in cloud, in data, security, let alone things like AI. So today is the launch of IAMT. New website went live at midnight. You can check that out at theiamt.org. The old one redirects in case you get lost. That's the big announcement, day one.
And, you have to, if you're here and you're a member, you must come up to the hub and you'll see me in here talking generally to myself if no one's here. But I think one of the things that stands out when we've been talking about everything here is MediaTech is no longer broadcasting. It's about moving video around. So one of the very interesting things that I saw from your MediaTech report was the different verticals now starting to be addressed. And I wondered if you could explain a little bit more about how that feeds into how you're shaping the organization to support the members.
Absolutely, thank you. So, effectively, most of our members have been vendors in the MediaTech space, but the majority of that over the last 50 years, because we're actually 50 this year, have been in the pure broadcast industry. And we are already seeing, and the State of MediaTech report, as you say, is showing much bigger market opportunity in verticals, parallel markets, including corporate companies, education, retail, as well as things like sports federations. And in fact, vendors, technology vendors are seeing nearly 50% of their revenue growth is coming from those other sectors. And I was talking to a member a couple of days ago who was saying to me, my client, they're actually a bank. And the remit was, the CMO was talking to them and said, my CEO is saying, make me look like I'm on CNN. And they are a bank, a big bank, and this is for their internal town halls. It's for investor briefings, as well as customer events. And so, we are all now media content companies. Engagement comes through engaging content, not just broadcasting. And that's where the market opportunity lies for our members. And that's where we now have rebranded to IAMT to enable and support that wider ecosystem.
Yeah, and you are doing a fantastic job. I think it was very interesting what you said, and we have spoken it before about make me look like I'm on CNN. And you can see that from, a CEO of a bank. People know how easy it is to make content.
Yeah.
You see people, they're professional, they've got, lighting in their bedrooms, comes out. You can't then go, right, here's an internal town hall, and then it's somebody just stood up with a guy with an iPhone, well, they're very good cameras. But so you've been in the role 6 months?
Months.
Oh, right, yes. Yeah, sorry, yes, it was.
It was 6 months when we were first talking about you coming on.
Yes, that's right. So, I'm very pleased to have even been invited. What a great team you've got. What was your biggest challenge, and I guess part of understanding how the organization worked would be able to, frame how you were going to do the rebrand. But when you first came in, what did you see about the industry and the members, and how have you seen that sort of shift in terms of how you better serve them, which you are? I mean, this is a classic example.
I think it goes back to that engagement and connection. And especially since COVID, I mean, when COVID happened, a lot of people were able to communicate, if those who are used to it already, communicate with their teams, with their customers remotely on video, on Teams or whatever. But I think one of the biggest challenges has been, the whole industry is changing, but facing massive geopolitical, economic challenges, and it isn't just about doing more with less. It's actually doing more with way less.
Yeah.
And maybe not even being able to operate in supply chains, in geographies, or with, things like tariffs. It's so complex and changing, it seems, on a daily basis. So one of the biggest challenges for me was to dig into what I call the buried treasure of IABM. And this was, the research, the insights, the tech office, the training, but really pull those out so that we could support members in a much more dynamic way. And especially doing that when you're going back to the point of doing it over content and video. It's not all face-to-face now. We're a global organization. We have over 400 member companies all around the world. Some of those members are enterprise level big corporates. Some of them are little startups or even individual consultants. So being able to shape the services and the value for each of those different types of companies, all at different stages of maturity, startups to legacy, and doing that with a remote team. So all of my team are all over the world, so I don't sleep.
I know, and especially this morning, you were, I all went amazingly. You'll be able to see that the press brief. I mean, the whole team were fantastic.
But I think it's actually walking the talk here, because we have had to do what a lot of organizations need to do or want to do, and do that in a way that is cutting through the noise. How is your message, whether it's video content, news, product information, whatever that content is, how do you deliver that in a really engaging but immersive experience, which combines multi-platform from video, online, face-to-face, trade shows, events, in a one-to-one environment, in a group environment. So I think, we are doing what the market is looking for. And the challenge was to come in, find that buried treasure, elevate it, and then elevate our members as part of that. So my strategy when I first came in was based on 3 key pillars. It was to edit, elevate, and innovate. So going, in the world of media and entertainment, edit meaning let's look at what we've got, what do we refine, what do we cut, what do we invest in, how do we drive that forward, how do we innovate on top of that, with new products and services for members to support them, and how are we elevating our members? So that's what we've been focusing on.
And that brings me on to my next topic, because you went in and we're talking about finding the hidden treasures, and I've seen some of them. Normally you say trade organizations, okay, yes, we'll put an event on, but take for example your marketing teams and your business intelligence unit. There are many, if any, trade organizations that have a business intelligence unit. What they do is have people who take stuff and pass it to their members, but you explain, and your team explain what that means.
Yeah.
What does that trend mean?
Yeah.
And that is, that's powerful stuff.
Yeah.
But let's talk about May, because that's how we're going to that's how we're going to find it. Yeah. Because when you're producing so much content like you've got, it is very difficult, because you've got so many members and so many diverse sort of workflows and industry models. So how about May?
I am so super psyched about May. So as part of our rebrand to IAMT, we've been working with Alpha Cogs. You're going to be interviewing them a bit later, I think. Alpha Cogs are an IAMT member, and they have developed and powered for us an agentic AI model that really utilizes answer engine optimization. So we all know SEO, search engine optimization. We already had that because we were posting content about our members and what they did, but we've taken that to the next level with May. So May as a platform is the industry's first for a trade association, and it has been trained, or she, I should say, has been trained on our whole vault of member knowledge. And we have 3 years of journal articles, IABM TV, our business insights research, working groups outputs, all of that content that puts everything front and center to buyers, investors, collaborators. So what anyone is able to do, not just our members, is go onto the new website, the IAMT.org. And May, you just click on May and you ask her a question. Give me the latest in media trends in APAC, or tell me, which organization or company is specializing in remote IP cloud production, or who did this very specialist piece of something that only a CTO would know about. And May will go and find that and bring that back as an answer, as an authoritative, authorized citation. So this is, and I think this is the key thing, going back to your point about our business insights team. We are a not-for-profit, independent, neutral trade association.
Don't get many of those. So
We're not pay to play.
Yep.
And the articles and interviews that are done on that basis. So they are non-biased from a sponsorship viewpoint. You can always sponsor a white paper, but May is providing that trusted source for buyers, press, media, because it's going to original content from our members wherever they sit in the content value chain.
And that is amazing, because very often, if you're in a company, certain areas you can learn more from your competitors about what your other department's doing internally. And I guess that's sort of the role that you're taking, is to be able to say, look, this is all happening, this is public domain, but you said it yourself, is try to cut through the noise. There's so much content everywhere. And in fact, what you're doing with the team and the May, and bringing forward, elevating, the certain content that is very similar to what people are doing in the broadcast industry. It's, okay, we've got a huge back catalogue.
Yeah.
We want to sweat these assets. How do we do it? And actually, you're walking the walk, if you like, and leading that, and say, this is exactly what we've got. We've got our archive, and we need to reuse that in the best way to serve your members. And, I think it's absolutely fantastic.
And then you keep feeding it with all the new innovations we've brought on board in the last 12 months. So the IAMT Marketplace launches today. So this is an Amazon-style profile page that each member gets, where they can upload their own videos, their own news, press releases, product service information, and then it links directly to their own website and even their own sales contacts.
Yes.
So we are actively driving buyers to our members, and but doing that through a trusted, independent platform. But as you say, with the heritage of knowledge we have, that we continue to build on as we go forward.
And over time, and people must go on and look at the state of MediaTech. Your members must have a look at that, because that really does, that's a flagship product. It's well known in the industry. People expect it. And I read it every year. And what I really saw this time is that piece I went about. It's not just presenting the facts, which is great. Anyway, you do need.
Yeah, but you need the data.
Yeah,
but
what does that mean for me?
Yeah, exactly.
And the value that brings. You would pay, tens of thousands of pounds to a consultancy house just to find a fraction of that. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
And these are our own in-house analysts. So this isn't outsourced to anybody. This is, our member community all know our analysts, our member engagement team, and they work together to, help those members amplify, whether it's product news or innovation, whatever it may be. And that's aligned to what they've used in the state of MediaTech. So, companies are able to see, where are people investing? Where are the technology trends? Where are the challenges? And, the state of MediaTech is not just from the vendor community. Around 45%, I think it is media tech buyers. So you're bringing both perspectives in, not just the vendor community. And it then comes to, okay, what do I need to know? Why is this important to me, whether I'm a vendor or a buyer? Why is this important now? And, how do I then move forward in terms of buying decisions, understanding who can help me with the challenges and pain points I'm trying to manage as an operator or a buyer, but also even as members, how they can partner with other members in the whole ecosystem.
And that is fantastic. And I think what's really good, and you kind of nailed it, is two of the big things in our industry that came out of the report and all the work you did and all the background and the work with the members and the business intelligence that came out of that was trust and agility.
Yeah.
And that's what your, the trust part is. You are a trusted, independent source of information.
Yeah.
It's not just, okay, I'll put a IAMT logo and we're part of this club. It's actually, you're giving them stuff that, is so expensive to get.
Complete. And again, you have to apply. We welcome you. Yes, yes. But there is, if you are an IAMT member, then buyers know you are of a standard in terms of your products and services and what you can deliver, but also in terms of your integrity, your values. And so, this is the beauty of a membership community where, we are able to then amplify those members in a way that is beyond just, here is the product information. It is knowing if you are an IAMT member, that is the absolute standard of companies, large and small, all around the world, who are really driving this industry forward. So as a buyer, you want to know who those people are. But also as a member, you're connecting directly to buyers with that trusted, authoritative voice. And that's why, our new messaging is IAMT, trusted by the industry, driven by members.
What can I say? What a great point to end on. Saleha, thank you. And you were my first guest, and hopefully they're always easy to do.